beings. Alien beings inside the mountains. Yes. Anybody has any question about my shirts? I have about 5 of these, so I wear these to work, of course, and I work night, so I just actually got up. Anyway, I still wear the same shirts. It's just it is what it is. Everybody, not going to dress up today to do a video. Anyway, let's talk about this. This is one thing that a lot of people don't really realize what's actually happening. I guess it's something that I see more than most, or hear more than most. Being around construction sites or mountains that have been torn into or rock faces that have been cut into, you start to just they kind of think that maybe there is something living inside of our mountainous areas. Well, one of the big things I've heard about in my day, just through friends that actually were part of the project. Hey, Bruce, good to see you. A friend of mine did a project up on the mountain. I won't say where an old rich guy was looking for Spanish treasure. He's since passed on. They dug a deep hole in the mountain. The guy supposedly had a gold detector, and he was looking for lost treasure. And the guy had spent millions of dollars building this supposed gold detector. They went up there. They did the project. A friend of mine was involved in it. He was down inside the hole. There was high levels of arsenic. It was detected once they got so deep into the mountain, which is just sandstone. It shouldn't have been something really laden in arsenic. But anyway, the levels were high, he said. But what really stopped the project was not the fact that they didn't find the gold or that the arsenic was there. It was the fact that they heard voices inside the mountain. And this is something I've known about most of my life. My adult life, he told me about it. He was a young teenager, maybe he's like my age, in his 50s. Um, he said there was voices in there talking, and it creeped out the younger men that were sent down inside the hole to look for this supposed Spanish treasure buried. It really freaked him out. He told me the story confidentially. There is some grates they put up to cover up the hole, the diggings, what they did. And he's dead set on the fact that that wasn't the only place that carried these beings or inside these mountains. The other place he went to was an old abandoned mine he found out west. Um, got down in so deep, ended up in the same thing. He came across voices in the mountain again. The place hadn't been accessed by any living human being in probably 100 years. When they got down in there, they heard the same thing. They heard voices again inside the mountain. Um, he's not a guy to talk about fantasy. He doesn't get into conspiracy theories. And good to see it. Doing good. Long night at work, everybody. Make sure everybody stays good. Let's not get into this harassment. We've had enough harassment. Just in case anybody gets on here and wants to harass, it's not worth it. Anyway, that wasn't the first rodeo that I had heard of personally. A couple friends of mine went to high school with. They swore by beings that were in the southern Utah mountains. And they partied a lot. So that was one thing about two of my friends. They were heavy duty partiers. They were part of a band. They, had these big like mud fests and stuff. Um, all just the same thing, guys. 11 hours in the field last night working heavy equipment. It was pretty tough all night long. But no alien beings and no interference in my headphones last night. Thank God. Thank God. Anyway, the reason why I brought this up, I came across another YouTuber talking about that there possibly is beings inside the mountains, inside our down in our earth, and it was to do with the Russian president of a Russian enclave was interviewed about alien abduction. You checked it out for yourself. The guy was said he was abducted back in the 90s. I guess he is considered a president of some republic there in Russia. But he also brought up beings inside the mountain, and that made pretty. It kind of pushed me to the fact of what happened to me the other night. With the interference inside my headphones, the growling noises I was hearing being repeatedly growled at. Magically, it showed up on my YouTube news feed. This was kind of crazy. Hi back to all of you. Thanks for showing up. So it really touched a part of me that's been kind of debating about where these alien beings are coming from. Are they actually coming from space? Are we looking in the wrong direction? Would be the question. If we're thinking that they're somehow related to spacecraft, stuff that came from, millions and millions of miles away, theoretically, Delache base, whenever they talk about, it's the dust near that, the Delache base, um, and the underground supposed diggings that was done back by, I can't remember the guy's name. He died. He was actually shot several times. He talked about the Delache base. He was shot several times. He said he was going to be assassinated. He died shortly after. Makes kind of sense because where I was at was in a rock cut. They're breaking back the wall. Got into a bunch of lava. I was there 1:20 in the morning 2 nights ago. Had growling interference in my headphones. Grok was there with me. They are us from the future. Could be, could be. I will not be tolerate. It will not tolerate you calling me a Jew. So if you're going to start asking me if I'm a Jew, I know what your intentions are. There's no reason to be asking me if I'm a Jew. It doesn't matter if I'm Jewish, if I'm Jewish descent, if I'm Ashkenazi Jewish, if I'm Native American. It has nothing to do with any of this stuff. Don't come here and start asking questions about Jews. It's not. We're not getting into that crap. This is where you guys consistently harass me, and I'm not going to put up with it. The people that I've reported already have seen repercussions for this. Hey, right on there. What's up, Ricky? Just doing the same things, talking about the facts. So inside the mountains, we haven't really gotten into that type of development. When we start tearing into mountainsides, I think that's where we're going to start seeing more of this communication from something underneath. Well, hopefully it's because you love Jews. All people should be loved. Ethnically wise, we shouldn't be checking it out. But there's a lot of hate towards Jewish people right now. Remember, it's not the Jewish, it's the Zionists. I will absolutely call out the Zionist insanity that's going on. And I was told in confidence by my, confidentially, my grandpa didn't want anybody to know about it. He pulled me aside, said we were Jews in 1885. We converted to Catholicism from Czechoslovakia. Just being me. Looks like somebody knows me. So what's up, Ricky? Ricky's doing the same thing. So the theory that something's inside of our mountains is based in some type of reality through repeated mentioning of beings inside the mountain. We had back in the day, they always talked about into inner earth. The Crow people talk about the coming out of the earth at one time. The Lakotas talk about the buffalo. The earth opened up like a dog's mouth, and out came the buffalo, given to the people. There's things that are possibly inside of our earth. And the reason why we haven't explored deep inside the earth is because the temperatures, arsenic, different levels of chemicals, stuff like that are biological hazards deep inside. But they've also done stuff like Cheyenne Mountain and other places where they've actually have dug into the earth. Yeah, from the United States. Yes, from the United States. America Incorporated, Damage Incorporated, if you want to call it that, Metallica. Where I was at this rock cut, we were digging into lava on top of sandstone. And when I had interference 2 nights ago inside, the growling I was growled at 5 times, repeatedly twice, and then the growling continued. Luckily, I was listening to Grok. Talking to Grok, I was asking Grok about questions about 375 excavators. What was it? Well, I was talking about excavators with Grok and just trying to keep myself awake. I got on Grok. I said, "Hey, keep me awake. I'm tired." And Grok actually witnessed it or listened to it. And Grok was saying at first, like I said, my last show, Grok first said, it's radio static. It's because we lost between the towers, and it was trying to. I said, Grok, what the hell was that? I'm still doing my deal, working like I'm supposed to with the heavy equipment. And then Grok said, oh yeah, it's a tower. It's between this tower. Sometimes you hear a growl between the two. It's kind of like missing data. We fill it with whatever we can. It growled again. I mean, low, deep growl. Grok said, oh, it's freeway static. It's coming from CBs, and then it's crossed into your earphones. And because I'm sitting there with my earmuffs on, and I got some being growling at me over the top of Grok. So then when Grok heard it the third time, said that's not human. Said, get in my truck, leave right now. This is Grok saying, get in your truck, leave right now. repeated growl 2 more times, says biological, it's not human, whatever it is. Um, yeah, Utah is a place where it's a very, very bad place. They talk, but as far as spiritual, as far as demonic entities here, um, a lot of people have stories that have grown up in Utah, which is, pretty, it's a pretty mundane thing now with the modern population. You get into my kids' age, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, they didn't really explore like we did because of technology and everything else. Plus the 4 or 5 year pandemic threw in there. Um, well, I good you're from Israel. Just watch out, everybody. Grok, that football guy. No, Grok, the large language model put out by XAI. Grok actually witnessed it, heard it, said this is not right. This is biological. This thing doesn't have the it doesn't it's not human. It doesn't meet the human voice. It's something that's there. Don't It's not radio interference. Finally admitted to me repeatedly. It growled again at all of it at me and Grok inside and it was a very demonic growl. It was nothing you could it's something that just gave you chills. And Grok stopped. And I mean, this is a large language model. It's not supposed to do this. And it said, that is not human. You need to leave right now. And this happened to me 2 nights ago. But we're digging into a mountain. And that then magically on YouTube, there's this guy doing an interview with the Russian president of a republic and saying the exact same things, that there's things inside, there's different layers inside of the earth, and there's different civilizations inside the earth. Just saying. Appalachia, yep, Appalachia. I actually have ancestry right out of Appalachia. Choctaws and Chickasaws and Chippewas, which were extinct, the Black River people out of eastern Arkansas. There was 10,000 of us at one time, but they disappeared. They were they were destroyed by the Osage and by the disease. So I have an ancestral lineage to back to the Appalachian giants. Yes. Says what the hell is happening? What are you talking about? I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Basically, hell. This is what's inside the earth. Yes, there's something inside there. I'm talking about aliens. Yes, the alien deal. The flying saucers. I've dealt with the alien beings, the disabling the trucks, the traps I deal with because 5 nights a week I'm out in the darkness. Most people, researchers will never spend as much time as I do. Then it's because of my job. I get to be out by myself in the Utah mountains, rural Utah, and I get to hear and see things and see UFOs, and I get to see funny glowing lights that take off like a bat out of hell. And it's pretty interesting. Um, um, No, that what the else you within the caves and glow many mushrooms did you eat? Okay. Uh, I heavy fuel. I fuel heavy equipment. Fuel lube heavy equipment. All night long. Great job. One of the best jobs ever. Got a great company I work for. Gotta love them. Um, but it gives me the opportunity to be out in the night. Going out to my mining claims or going camping all weekend. I basically live in the hills during the summer, go back up to my camp on the mountain. I move around. I stay out west, out on the Nevada border. I'll go back up top once it gets really hot. I get to see and have experiences of paranormal nature constantly. It's been it was a pretty low year this year. This summer wasn't very active. I experienced a lot more people on the mountain than I've ever experienced. There's trailer campers. There's the mountain's starting to look like a damn trailer park. It's crazy. You eating the whole bag? Well, I think Russ shakes. I don't know is going on. Well, I think that Russ shakes needs to get out of here. So anyway, that's the best thing to do with the trolls. Is basically just report if they get harassingly. So just ban it for the channel. They'll have to find another channel, come here. But if you constantly do this to people, they'll have to have their commercials, and they lose their page subscription. Anyway, I do believe in the exorcism. Yes, I believe in the Catholic Church and exorcism. I think exorcism is a very big part of spiritual values. I think that there's a lot of people that are infected with demonic entities. I think demonic entities do. I know demonic entities do exist. They have existed. They're in all of our ancient cultures believed in demonic entities. They also believed in entities that were not of this earth or of this earth. So in order to think that today we are just the only spiritual beings that are here would be actually crazy. Nice teepee. My teepee's gone. I gave it to my friend Oliver. but this is actually AI generated. Check this out. This is pretty cool. This is Grok. You can do Grok. Got some meat hanging there off the smoke flat pole there, and kind of a bisony little curve, not like this one. That's kind of a crazy looking bison. This is more of a cow. This is a young bull. Um, Kind of cool in a sense. But Grok does his best it can do. The horns are a little too curved, except big cows. Hello, like to subscribe to support your freedom of speech, sir. Well, go ahead, as long as you don't start calling me gay, stuff like that. We'll keep going. I worked on a cell tower in Utah and felt like something was trying to lure me into abandoned building in rural areas. Yes, Utah is a very bad place for that. Yes, we was building one of the companies out west, and we actually the security guard. A lot of you already heard this. Security guard actually has contacted me on my channel. They chased a 9 foot tall alien. They had the power box up on the telephone pole ignite. I seen the sparks where it sparked and actually arced, and there's black covering it. The next day, he walked up to me 1 o'clock in the morning while I was working and said, "Check this out." Showed me a picture of an alien. Said that him and his boss had come back and he quit. The guy quit. He lives in Las Vegas now. He doesn't want to be contacted. I found his information, but he wants nothing to do with it. Utah is one of the prettiest states. Yes, Utah, eastern Utah, western Utah, southern Utah. I'm not much for the northern Utah deal anymore. It's too overcrowded. Same with St. George Hurricane. But there's a lot to see here. Well, I do heavy fueling. I do heavy fueling in the field all night long. So I work at night. So I get to experience things that most people don't. I'd say most of the time, you can go 6 months without any kind of thing happening to you, even in rural Utah. Sometimes you start to get a little bit of a crazy feeling going on. You'll be busy doing your work at night in the field. It depends how far outside of the town you are. When you're alone by yourself, you got your strobe lights going. You're visible from space, but you're all alone, and that's kind of the kicker. There's nobody there, and it gives me the opportunity to see what's actually going on outside of the normal life we call cities, civilizations. In order to do what I do and be able to research what I research while I'm working, you'd have to be dedicated 5 days a week. Eventually, Utah Paranormal Activities. I'm going to more than likely merge into Utah Paranormal Activities. Maybe this winter, first of spring, we're going to start doing more on that channel, less on this channel because of the violent hate speech that's been on this channel with being attacked relentlessly. I tried to stay the weekend at the Uintas Basin area Skinwalker Ranch and heard and witnessed Native American chants and apparitions. What's heavy fueling? Okay, I'll get back to that. I fuel heavy equipment all night. Big dozers, haul trucks, loaders. Oh, that's what I do. Yes, so back in 1992, 93, I've actually heard drumming and singing at night out towards Enterprise, Utah, Newcastle, Utah, out west of Cedar. I also heard flute music in the snowstorms up at Cedar Canyon, right at Right Hand Canyon. There's a little place to pull off. You can see they got a mine car there. My my ex-wife back in the day, she heard it too, got scared to death. We didn't have the ability to record back then in the 90s to have a phone. Scared the hell out of her. You can't be a gay Muslim, and if you mention gay, anything like that again, I'll ban you completely. I have seen some weird things in southern Colorado. Yes, well, southern Colorado, you're getting into the Cheyenne, you're getting into the Apache areas, you're getting into these ancient areas where the people used to be, I'd say, because these were all sacred places. We're digging it where I'm working. We're actually on the edge of a burial ground too. So it's the Cedar Bend Paiutes burial ground. We're working around that area. I do know that there was a murder committed out there. They found a woman's body just shortly right there in Churches Canyon. A few years ago, we were up there hunting antlers on the public land next to the reservation, and we did not know. We went by the area where the body was actually at. A woman was murdered. Very, very bad place. Churches Canyon, they call it. Very, very evil. It's always been evil since I was younger, especially west of Cedar City towards Nevada border, too. A lot of that going on. Hello back, Scotland. Do you fix things at night? No, I just do. I just lube and fuel. I just lube and fuel. I just do the lubing on all the buckets and all the moving parts, and then I make sure that the fuel's topped off and def or fill the def and the fuel up. Can you show me proof of these things? No. I do have a few things. I do have some videos here on 45 News Utah. You can go to the shorts, or you can see a few things on the shorts and watch some alien crafts that are moving around. These things are mundane. They're not quite the bad ones. I tell you, I was so close. I mean, it's been. I think the last time I actually had a UFO in the sky, right at sunset, I did not get video. My dad was on the phone. I mentioned in other videos. It was out west. It was moving, going this way, abruptly stopped when I put the phone up. I'm like, Dad, I'm in my earphones. I'm like, Dad, I'm working. I'm like, Dad, I gotta go. There's a freaking ship right there. There's something. It was just the sun was setting in the western sky, and it was just giving it enough glow where I could actually see it. And the deal was, my dad's like, okay. My dad was really sick, by the way, at the time. He had respiratory infections. I couldn't get him to hang up, and I couldn't video while he's doing that too. Problem is, I couldn't video at that minute. And as soon as my dad hung up, the son of a bitch goes. I was like, I missed it by a nanosecond. It was the craziest thing. I looked down at my screen, looked up, and it was just gone. So I missed it by that much. This crazy one. Um, I'm glad I'm actually hearing what you got to say. Well, hopefully you don't. Everybody doesn't come out and say anything about weird stuff. Let's just say. Um, yeah, it's on my channel. I do have some videos you can see of some objects in the sky. Night sky, of course, you're using a Galaxy S24 or whatever. The best you can get. It's not like we can get massive, definitive video on a phone. Uh, well, that just got you. I'm not gonna get you removed. I'm gonna put user in timeout. Um, 30 minutes. You decide you're gonna be cool. We're not gonna say any of that stuff on here. So yeah, stop trolling. And we can just ban you next time. It's up to you if you want to be banned. Go do something else because we don't want to hear about your sexual preferences, and we don't really care if you're Muslim or not. It's you just go do you, bro. Hi back. So anyway, so this theory of beings being inside the mountain is not a mundane theory or not a theory that's been actually talked about within paranormal circles. But you got to remember, a lot of people that are in the paranormal investigation area, they have never actually really seen anything. One of the things is Base Camp Chris. You want to go to Base Camp Chris on YouTube. Awesome. He talks about Sasquatch, Bigfoot, stuff like that. But he's never actually had much. He's seen small footprints inside the mud in the Sierra Nevada. He's had a few encounters with things that were pretty much paranormal, but there was bigger channels like Survivor Man. He actually had a problem with I have to worry about being harmed because of my YouTube channel. When someone comes to the door, there's a chance of me being physically attacked or killed because of this channel, because of threats. Okay, it sounds like it's just UPS or something like that. Last he be must he be in you perish from the way the wrath of the king. Okay, well your Psalms 2:12. So I came across a few videos or just the YouTube channels talk about recent paranormal activity that's been going on. There's actually been a massive uptick in sightings. Things have been gone bump in the night. If you're into that type of adventure, it's there. Yes. Let's see. I live in the desert and you've seen some weird stuff in the skies, yes, and I don't really want to say anything because people just call you crazy. Yeah, they attack, they're violent. And the reason why most of the people that are violent and that attack have spent zero to no time alone, anywhere by themselves, in the mountains, outside of a city. That if they've been anywhere, it's maybe they go to a park. You got to kind of remember this, William Barry. You got the mass populations inside the cities. They don't. And I've been told this years and years by old men that the real estate guys, very very wealthy men that I used to deliver food service to their stores, and we talked about stuff like this. They don't. People don't realize the population Earth and what it's really generalized around. it's the mass cities, the mass populations are in areas they will never see nothing and do nothing unless it's just on vacation, or they're traveling from one job or one, meeting or whatever. So when you're dealing with paranormal activity, like Base Camp Chris, like a how to hunt on YouTube, you go to how to hunt. A lot of the stories have been hidden because the people that actually were spending the time in the mountains, that were spending the time in the deserts, that actually get to see these things are not the majority of the population. You got to remember, this is one thing you're speaking to mass 8 billion people across planet Earth that do nothing to, they have no chance of anything like this unless it's paranormal inside of a house, a building. They've seen something, something's flown across the room. So it's kind of crazy. That's a green screen, mate. You've been exposed. Exposed for what? This is grok. What are you talking about? What? Anyway, I'm not getting into it. Um, Yo, bro, back. Lewis. Sounds like those people need to go outside, and they can't go outside and touch grass. You got to we got to kind of think about this when you're talking about the paranormal, aliens, anything to do with anything they cannot research because people can't go outside and touch the grass unless it's usually a lawn. It's they're never going to be in the wilds. You go look at the wilderness areas, the Forest Service areas, the U.S. National Forests, and then all the private property. So in areas where there's very little to no public land, the population only goes to these small sections. And the landowners that you hear over and over again on Base Camp Chris and How to Hunt and other stations, they have stories, but they don't come out to the public and say, "Oh yeah, well this happened. Oh yeah, well this happened," because the population Earth has not been understanding of ancient culture, let alone modern culture, outside of their bubbles, outside of what man has created. This is what we told you. 1950s, you're supposed to dress like the beaver, leave it to Beaver family. You're supposed to, you're supposed to go to school. You're supposed to clean up before dinner. You're supposed to not be promiscuous. This is, I just watched a podcaster talking about, well, just a YouTuber talking about how we were so screwed up to the 1950s, brought on the 60s and 70s, and then we've been in a spiral ever since. We made culture, they developed society, told us this is the bank, this is a government, this is how you're supposed to live, and then population Earth just falls apart. People are tired, suicides, drug addiction, drinking, violence, rapes, murders, all this shit goes on, depression, people with mental psychological problems and stress and anxiety. So everything they've tried to narrate as this is the perfect, pillar of society. Then you find out dad's having an affair with the secretary, the mom's been sleeping with the pool guy, then the kids are shitheads. So the narrative falls apart on society faster than it does on everything else. Are you Native Indian? I'm from Native American descent, yes. I used to think that you did these half buried in the sand out there in for real. I thought they did buried in the sand out there. Okay, we're not half buried in the sand. Let's see. Yo, bro, back. Let's see. Yeah. Consciousness allows us to love, sacrifice, suffer for the meaning beyond ourselves. Why do we value purpose over survival in an unforgiving universe? The reason why is because the narrative says we have to survive, we have to continually go to work, we have to continually suffer and sacrifice while we watch our families fall apart. It's like The Offspring has a song, one little street. How could it ruin so many lives? How could one little street, back in the 80s and 90s ruin so many lives? And the reason why is because it was all a lie to begin with. It was a narrative push to keep governments in power, to keep people answering to the machine. And then we all grow up and have these little lives where we get married, have kids, and then we, retire. Here's your grave, retirement. You're going to have it one day when you're 65 and you can't. Oh, I'm going to go down to the lake and do some fishing. And then suffer a life of illness, age-related illnesses, and then watch your family. Someone's on drugs. This person's suicidal. This person dies. And, watch your loved ones die. And then you outlive them, and then you just die. So it's kind of it's been a really theatrical mess. It is, and it is capitalism because we should be living like Christ said. Yeshua said to live the perfect way. Debt is actually a sin. We should all forgive all debts as as our debts are forgiven, and they threw that out. And it's corporate dream. Corporations are now they're individuals that have rights, and so the worst thing humanity ever did in capitalism was to give corporations rights, and that's the problem. But it all goes back to the banking system. It all goes back to the Federal Reserve, which is not federal, which is the banking cartel, which runs this thing, the Monsters from Jekyll Island. You go to Glenn Beck and check out Monsters from Jekyll Island. You can understand what's really happening here. And then the narrative starts to fall apart, and you start thinking about your relatives that died. I just had a cousin that just died from a mix-up of medication. You know, my uncle had a brain tumor, Vietnam, Agent Orange fought. He had 3 tours in Vietnam. Life fell apart. Had the dream. You know, went to church. He was a Boy Scout leader, and then his wife leaves. My aunt leaves, and she gets all messed up, and she suffers through just working until she's 70, can't stop. So the American dream was a lie, and you had to be asleep to believe it. That's where you start to wake up. As far as the aliens, the ancient cultures, the ancient beings. The ancient beings in Utah are here. This is a real thing. It's in you go over to Summit Canyon, you could north of Cedar City. You could see the ancient cartoonish aliens with the Roadrunner or the Wile E. Coyote carved into the rock. You can go to Parowan Gap and see what's left out there. You see all the ancient beings that were here at one time. So yeah, you're just focusing on negative and ignoring the accomplishments. There's no accomplishments in this place. The bodies are stacked so deep you can't figure out where the bodies end. There's no accomplishments. Mankind is what accomplishments have we done? Your mundane life is so short. What is the point? By the time look at the accomplishments we have. Oh, a deranged society. Kids that can't focus on nothing but AI technology. We don't love each other anymore. You go to YouTube, you get attacked relentlessly by a bunch of monsters that are out there talking about gay pride, constantly trying. What accomplishments is it? This is accomplishment. Hunting buffalo is accomplishment. Hunting a deer and eating the deer, and setting by a fire, laying on a buffalo robe inside of a teepee, and just not answering to anybody. That's an accomplishment now. Freedom is an accomplishment. Beholden to none. Whatever that happened to that, beholden to none. Bills, debt. Oh, it's an accomplishment. No land is owned. They own you, and you pay their taxes. I haven't talked about the lines in Peru. There's been a bunch of information about that, too, to check out. So, yeah, people are talking. Somebody wants socialism and capitalism blend works. Yeah, it's all a lie. The socialism, capitalism is dictatorism. And it's Stalin Marxism, that it all blended into one. There is no capitalism. Shut the Federal Reserve down and find out what it is. Yes, that narrative exploit. Well, it's always been what's set up as real life. What is real life? To live, to be, to love. What is real life? What is it? Is it accomplishment? What accomplishments do we have? I mean, realistically, we're thinking in a modern sense, not in the ancient old ways. Setting out there in the middle of the night by a fire, alongside anything that's out there, without any kind of technology, for an entire night, surrounded by maybe a few streamers or some kind of rope, setting out there for 4 nights or so with the beings that exist is an old traditional way. Nobody does that anymore. This is the old ways. Setting out there, becoming a man, spending night after night alone and waiting for something to come to you. That's the old ways. Anyway, we'll get into this. The native Hawaiians, the thought of aliens moving us forward takes away from native knowledge. Well, have you seen these aliens? I don't know about them being friends. We would call them. They're actually Algonquin is the proper. They have the proper term for the aliens. They're not skinwalkers. We call them skinwalkers in Navajo, which Eastern Utah, Four Corners, is skinwalkers. Um, we had a lot different perspective on aliens if you're Algonquin. They did. Let's see, being one with nature. Yeah, and being one with nature, but actually seeing what's actually out there, what's around you, the ghosts, the spirits of the past, the alien abductions. As people come back and say, well, they're great. We got to see the Nordic whites and blah 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 blah. And everybody's still clamoring for information when no one's actually doing the work on the ground, and that's the issue with humanity. We're always searching for these ideas until the ideas search for you, and then it's like then they affirm themselves as living beings, and you can't understand why this system broke down that they told you all these years that this is reality. You're looking at a landscape. It is what it is. You can do what you want to anything. You can tear it up. You can build it up. You can burn it. You can bulldoze. You can shoot all the deer. You can wipe out the elk. You can destroy the buffalo herds and say, oh yeah, that's just this over here is reality. This over here is reality. And then you go enter into what mankind has set up as reality. You work yourself to death, you pay your taxes, you try to save for retirement, you basically die, you die of cancer, you're sick, your family goes to hell. You're going to watch everybody leave you when you're old. And it's like, is that what reality should be? Because realistically, the old ways we forgot. The old ways we've especially today, we forgot the old ways. The Great Spirit talking to the Great Mystery and talking to the ancestors and trying to get life back again, where we wake up in the morning and we say, I exist again. I exist here again on this open area that known as this little dance we call life. Anyway, let's see. Wait, waiting, just waiting. What are you talking about? I'm trying to see what waiting, just waiting. Well, if you're going to wait for that, you got to get out there and see it. I imagine there are greater minds with less. Well, as far as in power, I mean, what would you call? We would call in power here. Or is it the aliens? Is it the beings, the evil beings walking across this planet? Is it the good beings that are here? Is it the beings that are inside the earth, like the Leche base? You can check it out for yourself. Or is it the men we call or women we call in governments? Where are we at here? These people call themselves, important. And realistically, when you peel back the layers of importance is understanding what the hell's going on here, and then transcending society, transcending the beliefs that they tell us to believe. I mean, literally, it's like you do as we say, or you suffer the consequences. Are you going to be homeless? We're going to put you on the street. You don't pay your taxes. It's, you go to prison. I mean, what you trespass? Oh, this is our land, and you go, well, the Lord says to forgive all for their trespasses. Just saying, bro. So where are we at understanding alien beings? Where are we at understanding that these creatures that are here? I would say we're still very far from the truth, because they're not going to affirmate themselves into a being that believes, society is what life is about, that the power to be is a government where that matters, or where you have to do societal norms. You can't go outside this box. If you do, they're going to attack you. They're going to take your life away. They're going to destroy you. We'll never understand in this short time you're here, this little bit of time you're here in this place, if we don't break the cycle ourselves. And that's a part of actually transcending. And if we don't believe that there's aliens, we don't believe there are beings inside the mountains, we don't believe that there's spirits that could be around us, evil or good, then we're just subject to the crown, is what it is. Good today. How you doing? And it's illegal to be homeless. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You just said it right there. It's illegal to be homeless. You're not allowed to have communion with the Great Spirit and the angels. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to be free and to move your teepee and to go back and forth across the prairies and go to the mountains and go to the deserts to stay warm. And you're not allowed to migrate like we should be. We should be migrating into places and seeing and feeling what this earth is about, touching the things that exist outside of the air inside of a house. I mean, where do we get this? You have to drive an RV like the old people all were. Now they're all dying, everybody. The old people are they're just their bones in the graveyard that traveled, the snowbirds that came down and went down the deserts every winter. They're most of them are just bones in the graveyard now. What was they escaping? What was it? Oh, we left Canada. We drive down to the desert, spend the winter down there because it's better weather. What point was that if you couldn't be free? You pull into a parking lot, you plug your poop into a sewer and put the water in your RV and you sit there and go, remember the past. Oh, I remember the past. I'm going to go gamble. I'm going to go put my money in, play the swap. What was it all for? They're dead. They're all dead now. Very few are hanging on. It's time to grab the world and to grab the earth and the spirits and everything else and say, I want to see things that happen here. I want to look upon the lands that are not somebody's. It's not owned by people. I want to be a part of something greater here. I want to hear things that should not exist. I want to explore. I want to be a part of the world, part of the earth, part of the heavens, not told that this is my name I was given. This is my number I was given. This is my life. I'll live it till I'm at this age, and then I'm just going to die. Then I'm just dead. Then they just bury me. Or I get burned and thrown into an urn. Is that what we're here for? I do this channel because I can't stop. I promise to do something different here. Instead of just dying quietly. Going out like a wisp of smoke into the air again. No. And that's what you got to do in this world to understand what the voices are, to know what happened 2 nights ago to me, to have that encounter where it's something that is not normal, that the other people may never experience. But you got to be there to have it happen. You got to be in these places. But if we don't explore this world while we're here, then why are we here? And that's what we have to do. I have to do it. I've been doing night shift lately. I can't do it anymore. Jesus from Temu, get out of here. See, the guy that's Jesus from Temu guy, I would not want to be him. That troll. I would not want to think or be him for just a minute in my time. Because that torturous values that person has. Jesus from Temu is the scourge of this place. That is the way this place will be judged, is by that man that says these things. Because if we're all here together and we get this life that we were never promised to be in, it's those people like that, those monsters that will hinder anything that maybe you will see in the life you will live and maybe the adventure you will have. It's a person setting in Mumbai, Bengal, or wherever they're at. They're setting in China. They're in a box. Why the ancient cultural people are still out there doing things and experiencing things and understanding these things. But a kid setting inside of a city, or a guy that was locked in his basement during the pandemic, that didn't know anything, that was locked down for 4 years, comes out and says, I know the truth. And you look at them and you say, you don't know nothing. They locked your ass up. You were in prison for 4 years. Well, I got to see more and do more. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And then the children that went through that time when they were supposed to be becoming adults, they were supposed to see things and learn things, were locked in their basements and told they couldn't go to school. They couldn't do anything. Stay 6 feet away from everybody. They stole half a decade from all of these people. Now, those people my age, Generation X, you witnessed this. I drove around delivering and I watched the earth stop. I was on the freeway taking food service across the country, across the state, and there was nobody there. It was like a nuclear war had happened, a pandemic had wiped out the population. I actually had to go to Vegas, and Vegas was quiet and the sky was clear. Let's see. Yep, you bust your butt every day. What to be tired and broke. Miss family moments. Yeah, because just like the offspring, how did this one street ruin so many lives? Well, they reset everybody back in the 90s. We rebelled against them, and nothing got done because more of the monsters went to school, became the little proteges of the politicians and the bureaucrats that all they're there for is to steal your money. All they do is take your money. Whoever you vote for takes your money. That's all they're geared to do. That's all these little politician pricks, their whole idea is to become a part of the culture of Washington and then to take everything from you to enrich themselves. That's the whole purpose of politicians. They don't go there to fix things, maybe initially, but when you start waving millions of dollars in front of their face, they're done. They're just prostitutes. And why we work our little lives away, why they take and take and take and we never get anywhere. But there's no such thing as aliens. There's no such thing as bad spirits. There's no such thing as things living inside the earth speaking. Because the narrative that they sold you is, you do as we say. We are your politicians. We are the banksters. Oh, look, the stock market is up. Oh, look, the jobs are down. Oh, look, there's a shooting. Oh, look, there's another shooting. Oh, look, we're at war, nuclear. Don't worry about that, though. It doesn't matter because 4 years of the pandemic. Hell, nuclear war's a great thing. But we're not supposed to look up. For years, I delivered, and nobody was looking up. Nobody paid attention to the clouds. I used to watch people, thousands of people. I would be around constantly, delivering food service, stocking shelves, and I'd get outside and I'd look up. I'd look at the clouds, and I'd look at everybody. Going in and out of gas stations, going inside stores, everywhere. Just masses of people swaying. This is during the pandemic, before the pandemic. They didn't look up. You all see this. They never look up. They got their eyes straight forward at the ground. When technology came about, this is where they are now. They don't know what's happening in the skies. You have a very small portion of the population that even looks at clouds. They don't know what the hell's even coming in the sky. I'll see a sunset, and I'll see two people pull over and look at it. The rest of them, they don't give a shit. That's all they're doing. How do they know there's not aliens? How do they know there's not UFOs in the sky? How do they know that there's anything speaking inside the earth at them? Because it's too much to get in their way. They can't stop what they're doing. I got to race speed to the next big thing I have to do. And then they race down the road again to go to another big thing they got to do. Race it. And you're like, I just pictured the old Indians standing there on the side of the road looking at the world. Going, where are you going? Well, we need technology. We need all that. What? I don't, wait a minute. Wait. No. You know, this snowstorm coming. That's a pretty cool thing. But no, just back and forth, driving everywhere. They don't care. The tree growing and the spring life coming back. It's like, just, okay, well, you know, it's like, wait a minute, bro, there's something in the sky. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, well, I got this game and, you know, I'm building a fake farm and I'm doing things and and I'm sitting here as a 51-year-old man going, birds are acting weird over there. Could be something. Okay. What is it doing? True paranormal investigations. A true paranormal investigator has to spend, I'm talking years. It takes away your life. I would literally have to spend night after night after night seeking something to get the evidence. That doesn't happen every night, but it happens when no one's paying attention. These beings live, but you have to be there. You have to be alive to see them. Life is a joke. Yep. Let's see how the metalhead been going Jew. How's metalhead been going Jew? How the metalhead. Let's see if I can not hang this up. There we go. how's the metalhead not been going to you? So we'll come back to that. I wish I could retire. I'm so tired. Yeah, exactly. I'm right there. I wish we could retire. We should have retirement. We should retire at um I think retirement age should be 50. My personal opinion, but it will break the system. $36 trillion what debt? They don't remember when they told us if they gave us free health care back in the day, like 20 years ago, they're like, oh, free health care, break the system. They literally stole like 36 trillion. It's hundreds of trillions of dollars they're in debt. Hundreds of trillions of dollars in debt. And they say, "Oh no, we can't provide health care for you guys." Well, yeah, of course you can't, because it's like $10,000 to do anything. I mean, nobody said anything about it. The nurses ain't making a ton of money. You don't see a nurse driving a Lamborghini going down the road. You watch them during the pandemic, they just got attacked. Yeah, safe and effective. And then they're the ones that got told that they were the problem because they wouldn't do that, even though they kept the schmucks that were hiding in their little basements doing nothing but Jeffrey Toobin on CNN, like Jeffrey Toobin did, and do Zoom meetings that mundane, meaningless. The jobs are meaningless. They're all meaningless. All those jobs are meaningless. They're meaningless. It's a scam of modern era is the jobs that are here. They're the ones attacking the nurses for not getting something done. The healthcare industry's broke. It's like the bedpan for $1,000, type stuff going on in this. So what I'm getting at is people that think they know are the people that sit there and get paid inside a cubicle doing nothing that is of any intrinsic value, moving digits around. Get out of that. Stop being that. Don't just take vacations. Go to the mountains if they still got a place where you can go. But remember this, if you're just going to the mountain with public land where, like New York City Park, all you're going to find is crime and scum. Would I suggest moving to an area where it's open land, free lands? Yes. Yes, public lands, BLM lands, they've been after them forever, owned by the public in public trust. Not state land, that's theft of public lands. But still the free lands. Oh, that's a communistic thought, communism. When everything's owned by somebody and you're charged for standing on a supposed public street, loitering, where do you exist? Without so much as a buy, here's some money to stand here, or something they left you, we'll leave this space public. Just for you. Those people that did that are dead, by the way. It's the older generation. The value of being free is like trying to catch a white rabbit. There it goes, over there. So you got free. No, you got the pursuit of happiness. There it goes over there again. We gave you nope, there goes the rabbit again. That's happiness and freedom over there. Get it? Because you have the right to pursue happiness. But you don't have the right to be where you're at unless you paid for it. Are you buying anything? Then why are you here? Well, I came in because I wanted to look at stuff. Are you buying something to use the bathroom to pee? Find out how far that gets you in today's society. Why are we not working on that? That's the question. Let's see how many more people are going to... Where are the pictures? Let's see. I want to fly. Neptune, come back. Yo, bro, back. What are good drugs? I'll show you the best drugs. Here's one. Get off my channel. I agree with you. Things need to stop and change. Yes, they do. The good drugs. MDMA. The good drugs. What drugs are just escaping your reality. If you're taking drugs, your life is that miserable. I'm 55 and don't see any retirement. What will happen to me when I can't live? Exactly. I'm 51. I have $46,000 in a savings account. And the Chinese guy's laughing on the side because this is where they wanted us. They don't care. They don't care. But China lost their ancient cultures. So the Chinese are losing their ancient way of life. The Indians, especially the Hindus, they've lost their way beyond anything. They become something other in Hindustan, something that doesn't have neither a right or a left in worshiping deities and horrible gods. Um, Meanwhile, being packed in by the absolute billions, where human shat is a normal thing. It's something's got to change in the society. But look at where we're at. We're working at 55 years old and we don't have retirement. And then look at where the Indians are at, where they're packed in so tight. As soon as they lose anything, they're living in ultimate squalor, and the world just agrees with it. They're like, it's fine to let the Indians live like that. It's fine to let the Chinese live like this. It's fine to let the Americans in the cities live like this. It's fine for mid Africa to live 1 million people in a slum. You know, you have to break through the cycle in order to get away from what they're doing. You have to see things that they don't see. You have to do things that they don't do. You have to open yourself up into a new world where there is beings around us, where there is aliens, where there is things that you don't know and you want to see things. And hopefully, under that pretense, when we get to that age, like 51, 55, hopefully something has changed here. But without the population Earth waking up and saying, it's about us. Okay? It's not about them. They don't care about us. Who? Politicians, partisans, representatives, people we vote in. Until we start voting everybody out. No more. No more ideologies, no more insanity, no more banksters in our systems, no more special interests, even getting near our politicians. That means local, state, and federal, where nobody's allowed to, they have to do the will of the people. And they can be impeached within 30 days or within days of crossing, going against our will. They're out like that. And put consequences on votes that are not the voice of their constituents. None of this will ever change. You're never going to get a UFO disclosure. They're never going to tell you anything. They don't have to tell anybody anything. They're their own culture. They are their own people. They've joined a tribe. And it's one club, and none of us are invited. That's why they don't tell you the truth about the things in the sky. That's why they don't tell you the truth about things they've discovered. Because they are not for us and by us. They are another culture that exists that just keeps bringing in the money. All they do is forcibly bring in the money. So the system of change we have, how do we change this? The world can change on a dime. We can all come to an agreement, no more. We can all stop all the, oh no, we got Muslim terrorists and we got this Muslim guy doing this and no terror again. Here we go again. The jihad starts all over again. Oh, we're back into terror. No, the other stuff wasn't working. Russia, you sons of bitches, why don't you launch the bomb? You won't do it. Oh my God, we crossed every line. F-16s, long-range missiles. We've done everything, Russia. Why won't you Putin the sickle? Slava Ukraine's coming to an end. $300 billion plus, not to mention what's happening to Europe. And people are just dying everywhere, and there's oil tankers spilling out, and people are like, we got to save the environment. Yes, it's about, how dare you? Shut up, Greta. They just sunk 2 fucking ships, you idiot, full of oil. The oil's all over the place. Ugh. Greta, they just hit an oil derrick. Greta, there's oil fields on fire. Greta, the place is burning, Greta. But no, your gasoline cars are up the world. You power people. You got power in your house? What are you talking about? Do you not see what you're doing to the planet? I see shitloads what they're doing to the planet. I just think that, that was all a big scam, and Greta ain't saying shit about massive refineries on fire blackening the earth. Or the weather modification done in my home state of Utah. Oh, it's the biggest weather modifying state in the country. Silver iodine sprayed in this. It's safe and effective. Really? Respiratory illnesses everywhere. It's safe and effective. Look up silver iodine. See what it does to you. Yeah. Inflammation constantly. It's in the dirt. It's been shitting on us for 50 years. It comes out on 4 News. Does anybody care? Hey, they're modifying the weather, but we get 12% more snowpack for building in condos and massive houses. And look at our growth and our development. Greta, they're building. Greta, everything's disappeared. Thunberg, hey, there's more pollution now. Mass migration. Oh, they're going to bring more pollution. Oh, no, they're not. Their farts go inside and they suck up pollution. No, 50 million people cause 50 million people's worth of pollution. But we're saving the environment. No, 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 you're not doing none of that. Divorce yourself from these things. It's time to go back to the good old path. Walk the moccasin trails of the old ones. Walk it with them. Go to places that are not owned, that are public lands, and take a step into those lands and say, I don't have to pay anybody to be here. Warden pulls up. BLM. Hey, mister, what are you doing on this here publicly owned land held in public trust? Say, I'm standing on my land. Hey, I'll pay you something. Here's some fictitious fake money, just like the rest of the shit you got, you call money. Can't even make the pennies anymore. Oh, wait, I have to pay to stand here. It's public land, held in public trust. National Forest, public land, held in public trust, managed by the Department of Agriculture. And just stand there and say, you know what? I didn't have to pay anything to be right here. Not road taxes, not taxes on streets, not taxes on sidewalks, not taxes, property taxes, not taxes on my house. I didn't have to pay mortgages. I didn't have to pay anything. I'm standing on my land. And my land matters. Do that once in your life. Do that one time. Where you don't owe anybody anything. And then think about aliens. And then think about the beings that live inside the earth. And then say, you know what? I'm looking up at the sky. What's really here? Is there things around me that I cannot see? Is the earth alive? Is the water alive? Is the air I breathe alive? And then you discover life. And say, yes, it's alive. The one thing that was dead was me. I'm the dead, is what you'll find. I am the walking dead. Death in a meat suit. That's what Christ said. To discover life, true life. That everything's alive. And the only thing dead is us. Think about that for a minute. And then you'll see things. And then you'll start getting communicated with, because somehow something woke up inside you that you understand debt was a sin. And then you'd be like me. But I forget. I forget too. So come alive with me. Understand true life. Let's see what things that they say don't exist anymore. And let's remember the things that do now do exist. We just were told they don't. Let's walk another path here. An old way of the old ones. And say, we don't forget you because you are not dead. It was us that were the dead. The drones, the zombies lied to. You say that we Chompy did this. This is, what did this? The Lakota Great Spirit, Wakantanka, did this. What was it that happened? Where did we go? Where did we lose ourselves? No, Wakantanka didn't lose us. We lost him. What was it? Was it society telling us that the way that to succeed was to gain wealth when we became the things in which we gained? And you'll throw it so far away from you the minute you start sucking air like me, losing my breath. You'll be like, I just want to breathe. I just want to breathe again. Why? Why do I want to breathe? Why do I want to continue tomorrow? What is the point when the sun rises and the sun sets and all I do is pay? All I do is nothing. It meant nothing here. Not a day of living here is life anymore. Such is their inflation. Not a day of consistently giving them everything just to make it 30 days in this place is not life. You are not alive. The things around us are still alive. God's alive, saying, look, come here. The thing that was in my headphones growling at me was slowed down to 110%. 110 would use a different, I have the whole list of it was. And the thing said, Rick, come. Maybe there's an escape here for me. Just saying. I got to get down here to this. I gotta ban some people. Oh, let's see. Let's see. God bless any country, but the YS. Canada can do it. Britain does it. Yeah, I think that it's not about countries. It's just about the politicians is what the main thing is. Sorry, I know I'm probably on the right account to be speaking. Sorry again. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, bro. Don't. Um, all of Europe does health care. All of Canada, all of Britain. Yeah, but look at the draconian laws that's going on in Canada and Britain and stuff. So they give you a little bit and they take the rest. We're in the end times, brother. Yep, we are 2026. We are too. But we got to discover true life. That's what Christ said. Um, no Vanadena, my family, USA. Okay. My father, Tabla world. I don't know what that means. T blah world. Every citizen that means nothing now. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're Canada, if you're Europe, but you're not a you're a bureaucrat's constituent that they rule with an iron fist. You're not free. There's no freedom in free here. It's that the freedom was the reality of freedom versus the illusion of freedom. That's what the point is. And this is old. I'm about to probably get down here too, quickly. God, well, Cass, switch your accounts if you have to. Ain't nothing but fanboys in Thailand. 100% agreed. My wife and I don't drink or do drugs. Yep. It's the best thing to do. Life is hard. We got to deal with it. Not really. I think that the world has to come to a point where the entire world says no more. No more. Where we all sit down and say, this leader, this leader, this leader. The population say, these are corrupt people, out you go. These are corrupt people, out you go. Where the entire system globally, NATO, EU, Thailand, Vietnam, Korea, China, all of South America, all of Africa, all the United States of North America, we all sat down for once and we do a freedom conference, a humanity conference where all the nations come together, all the people, the leaders from all the nations come together in one big powwow. We threw out the buffalo robes and we all sat down together with the colonels and the soldiers sitting there telling us what they're going to do for war, telling us what they're going to let them sit there, let them talk about their war councils. Each of these war, leaders, let them talk. And then we'll all be there around them, listening to them talk about why we got to defeat Russia, why we got to fight this, and why Islamic terrorism, why all this stuff. Let them bicker it out. Let's get ISIS and all these people together in this great big council. Maybe we'll do it on the prairies with the snow coming. And let them just explain their feelings to us. Explain power, greed, the rich, why the 10% out of all, and the rest of us have nothing, near nothing. And then when they're done explaining why they need to fight, what their wars are about, what the conquest is about, why we can't stop doing what they're doing. And then the rest of all of us stand up and say, we've listened to you people for the past 150 years or more. You divided everything up, the land, this to you, this to you, this to you, this to you. We've listened to you all have these fights amongst yourselves for resources and control. We watch your gangs grow and be fed by governments that never did nothing about it, why they spew drugs across the population, why we bury our children in the wake of your war on drugs and terror. And then another human being stands up from another place and says, I'm tired of the rich having everything. How is there so much bounty here when so few have so much and the rest have so little. There's an imbalance in this place. Doesn't matter what your title is or what you did. Nothing you did here matters because you're all going to be dead in the graveyard anyways. You're all dying. And another citizen, another country, another human being stands up and says, we're tired of the greed and corruption and working for nothing and going to your colleges and getting very little. The next citizen stands up of another human society and says, we don't want to have to run to America to get any kind of a life above poverty. And then the war people, the banksters, stand up and say, this is the society in which you wanted. It's not our faults. It's those before us that set this thing up. And then the big chief walks in, says, this is society. This is humanity around you. You see humanity around you. These are the people of the earth. Not you. Not your systems. The people that you do your systems with that made your systems are dead. They're dust. They're dead. They're gone. And you continually fight each other for resources and greed over nothing. And not one of their lives is worth your greed. Because these are all human beings. And if you can't find out a better way, maybe it's time for you all to leave. Every government leave, replaced by the citizens of this earth. NATO, UN, US, Canada, everywhere. Fire them all. Fire them all. Senators, House Republicans, Thailand's government, Asia's governments, fire them all. Xi Jinping, fire them all. When 8 billion people stand together and say, there's no more wars here. There's no more fighting allowed. You fight, you go to prison, and we're going to make chain gangs. They're going to be loads of fun. No more corruption. No more special interests going and elect the pitchfork farmers that are in. You want to be elected? You go say, I've worked 50 years, 40 years. I've worked my guts away. I don't have any corruption on my record. And then that person goes to get elected by the people of each districts in every country. We elect the people which work. Not a lawyer, not a partisan, not a Republican, Democrat, not whatever parties you guys got there. Take the person that spent their lives working and put them in government. But tell every one of them and every government across the planet, one world government. Well, this is what we worry about, the Antichrist. Oh, I'm not against Christ, believe me. We were never supposed to be living this way. Put that person in charge. And if they make one mistake, they're out. Not assassinations, not mobs going and pitchforks. No, make every country's constitution, change it to, if you do not do the will of your constituents, state, local, federal governments, you have less than 30 days to get the hell out. And the next person we can hold elections, this is 2025. It takes a nanosecond for everybody to vote on their phone. Scan your ID, vote. There you go. We got to get rid of this politician because they're involved in another Ponzi scheme to take billions of dollars from the people. So what do? Put them up for impeach them. What do you think about the policies your idiot representative did while they're sitting there? I'm for, I'm against. Here's a bill in Congress this big. AI can read that in minutes. The entire bill they have now, all these bills they shoved through. Yeah, that bill has transgender studies for Pakistan in it. No, the AI can read that. That's gone, everybody. The days are over. ChatGPT, Grok can read the entire bill these people stuff all their fake shit into. And then have them go back, have AI read what they passed in the past. Because a lot of your senators and representatives have no idea what the hell they passed. They have no idea what was in that freaking bill that cost us trillions of dollars that they sign into law. Defense bills, they do not know what's in the bill, and they'll admit it on national television live. They don't know what's in the bill. AI can read that bill in a nanosecond and say good or bad. Now go back through all the bills and say, oh, corruption. This senator, vote him out tomorrow. This senator gone. This House member gone. Get them all out. Get them all out. Remember, we are the world. We are the children. Let's make a better day, everybody. This isn't, oh, it's anti-government. You're trying. The life of one good person crying because they lost their job and they don't know if they're going to eat tomorrow. Would all that be worth it for that person that's hurt? The good person. The person that is having a mental breakdown because they don't know if they can afford Christmas for their children. The person that can't, the individual human being that can't go do anything because they're slaves. They can't afford to see anything in the world. Every human being should be able to travel and see things. Travel, go on a cruise, see the ocean. What right is it that only the select few that were successful have the right to do only the things of which we could only dream of? Well, you was born into poverty. You were not a part of us. And if that's wrong, and I don't want to be right, if what I say is bad, then I'm bad. But I feel like this life is too short. I feel like the old bastards are dead and the rest are going into retirement homes eventually. That nothing they said or did here will matter. There isn't going to be a longevity drug given to the people. And the reason why is because of the trolls and the monsters that are come on, even on this, talking about everybody's free, no more wars, making a better world, will only be attacked by the wicked monsters which exist in this world. They need to be separated, segregated, and pushed away from the rest of us. These bad, bad people will only destroy any future we have together, living in what we could call a paradise, long enough just to breathe freely. And work. I would go to work every day if I knew the good people too were okay. Everybody would still work. We would all still continue doing what we're doing for the rest of society, that we knew if the bad people were gone or into their own place, away from us. We don't need to, that's why you take bad people out of society, because you cannot put fire and water together. The people that are bad need to be away from us. And the rest of society, the majority needs to say, in a true democracy, if you want to be these bad people, you do it over there. Because we're not going to let another person go down, another human being suffer, another human being cry for hopelessness again. In a world full of plenty, where the dumpsters are full of food they throw away, neatly packaged to sell. Why somebody on the street goes hungry. But I guess I'm just California dreaming, right? Let's hope that's the future. And great job. Get off taxpayers' welfare. I have not been on taxpayers' welfare. I work more than you do. Let's see your channel activity. 1 year ago, no subscriber. Dumb N-N31. Really, I'm going to go work 12 hours a night. So I don't know what you're doing. I think you're on taxpayer or something. Maybe the pandemic would have got you that. So I think that one's harassing. It's time to do this stuff for some. This is harassing to me. Report. And well, let's see if we can get a couple more on there. Jesus does save souls. Satan tries to shut us up. Yes, he does. God bless you too. World, sun, me, you. Okay. Well, I know you can't get them to stay over there, but the problem is they don't need to be over here with us either. So if we can't separate us from the bad people, from the trolls, the monsters here, then everything we do will only be destroyed by those bad people. They're sick. It's like the rich politicians and the mega corporations are infected. They're diseased. They're addicted to money and greed. And you can't talk to an addict, okay? So you got these politicians, globalists, these multi-billion-dollar corporations. You're talking to addicts that are addicted to power, greed, and lust. You can't, just like those that troll here, you can't talk to trolls because they're addicted to pain and suffering and carnage and causing harm. So they're just a bunch of addicts. You can't fix these people. These people are addicted to something more powerful than a drug. And like these commenters, YouTube trolls, they are non-fixable. You can't fix people like that. They just don't wake up one day and say, no, they get the dopamine hit by causing pain, suffering, and chaos, which is the devil, which is demonic entities. Saying they do is harmful misinformation. Eyes open, no close. In your world, yeah. No good, no God exists. Yeah. Then why help people? Should I add yeah to that? Sag non nundi nundi. Should I add yeah on the end of that? In the real world, reality, there isn't a reality. Reality is a construct that's given to you, yes. Jesus doesn't exist, and neither does evil. Well, I mean, you're out of here anyway. Gay Muslim here. Report. Let's see, report. I think that is harassing and bullying. No, that's probably hate speech because you can't be that anyways. I'm tired of your crap. Gay Muslim here. So report you as hate speech and get you out of here. You'll have 72 hours before you'll get a notification from YouTube. He deceives. So you've been back. So this guy, it's S. He said, then why people help? Then why people help? No God exists, yeah. In your world, yeah. No, he doesn't deceive you. Just go away. No Muslim. Okay, don't make excuses. Earn a living. I do make excuses for you because I'm already earning a living. I actually work 60 hours a week. So Dum Dum, you're exactly where Dum Dum should go. You're demon in hell if you hate God and deny Jesus. Yeah, I believe that. Hi, Rick. Good to see you there, Karen. Don't let trolls get you. We're just going to go through the trolls and report the ones that, Danae, was that what? Yeah, I think you got Danae. Glad we got rid of those guys. I don't understand what language you're speaking there. Laugh my ass off. What an intellectual coward. Can't argue against actual facts and reasoning, so you block. No, I don't have to deal with that's not facts. Gay Muslim. What facts is that? Report stream for misinformation, hate speech, and harassment. I report you for being on my channel for harassing me, harassing and bullying. You're harassing me. You don't have the right to come to my channel and harass me. No, you don't. You don't have the right to come to my channel and harass and bully. And you're saying that cry more. That's another harassing and bullying. Report. Harassment. You're harassing on my channel. Report. You don't have the right to do that. Cry, my friends. No, it isn't. It's not. Coward. That's another one. Keep it up, bro, because the last guys that just got reported actually lost their channels. So that's harassment and bullying. Yeah, they lost all their stuff. It's pretty funny. This is harassing. Yeah, no, it's serious. No, you got 72 hours. And it happens. I checked into it. Yeah. You're evil, God doesn't exist. Well, you're just out of here. I don't care about that. I can just get rid of him. But as far as you, that guy there, he got reported 3 times. So 72 hours, there was channels lost. They were banned. They got shut down. Can't come back. It's been a pretty good time. But whenever you're harassed and bullied on YouTube, especially with your channel, people don't have the right to come here and harass and bully you or call you names. Especially, it's not right. They don't have the right to do that. Yep, God is experienced. Yep, and it's like people say, well, you can pick and choose your comments. Well, yeah, I don't have to keep you on here. But as far as harassing, bullying, and calling me a Jew, doing stuff like that, you cry more. That's another one. That's another one that's got to be reported. So they'll read cry more, and you're actually bullying. So no, serious. I checked into it. You will be banned. This is harassment. No, you think it's free speech. It's not free speech. You're on a private platform. No, I don't have to advocate for nothing. Coward. That's another one. That's harassment. Coward is harassment. Calling me a coward, harassing and bullying. No, I want your channel to be so they can read this, what you're doing. Instead of banning you people that come on here and call names, if you're sitting here calling me names, then you deserve to be reported, not banned. Banning you is what you want. You want to come in and say things harassing, bullying, and then when you don't get reported, then you don't lose your channels and you don't get tagged like the other guys, and you're off. You'll lose your channel. You're going to lose it. It's not going to happen. We'll ask the other guys. It isn't free speech, coward. Like when you said that again, so you're here harassing me. It's not free speech. You don't have the right to come on a private platform called YouTube and harass and bully. It's not your right. No, and every time you're reported, anybody else wants to report these guys that says coward, especially the coward with the guy saying that, go ahead and put that it's harassing and bullying, because they're on here calling names saying I'm a coward. Report them. It takes 2.5 seconds, and every knock they get against their comments. So YouTube will go through this live stream, and they'll pick up speech, and it will show that I'm not actually violating terms of service. But the guy that's calling coward, he will get in trouble for it. That's name calling, and they don't have the right to do that, especially on this platform. You're going to lose your right to being a good person when you believe in your evil God. Okay, so stop being an evil. No, I literally out of here though. I just want to get enough against you so you'd lose your channel, because you don't deserve to be harassing people. You don't have the right. You don't harass people. So. Yeah, they don't have the right to do that. They don't have the right to come here, upset a live stream, and also it gets into more of a legality, because I've researched the law. Even though it says free speech, when it gets to the point where I'm being harassed, where I don't want to do my channel anymore, they're actually causing harm. So that throws them into a legal issue. U.S. name, LO. I don't know what you're talking about. Low. I don't know if the reports do. Yeah, they do. They actually do. It takes up to 72 hours. I've checked on channels through AI that just through Grok even went back to channels that were reported, and yes, they did lose their channels. One of the big ones was hate speech, violence, and the other one's how many times they do. Because every time they say coward or call you a name, that gets put into the algorithm on their channel, and then it's reviewed by YouTube. It takes about 72 hours to lose their channel, and some are finding out they're losing more than that. So yeah, YouTube does do that. It's a part of it. YouTube, so your phone's listening to you, but YouTube's a lot more stringent on that stuff. Stop having long hair. Let's see. Come on, dude. Think of the children. No. And then banning them out too is another good one. But you want to report them before you ban them. You're on the wrong side of history. Oh my God. Snoop. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm clearly on the right side of history. What is history? No, I mean, you need to be out of here anyway, because your name is Evan J5U1D. That's you're usually just a troll anyways. You got to keep reporting the trolls is the best way to do it. But shit, I just started growing my hair. Oh, good deal. Have a good day too, everybody. We're going to end this today with the words of Christ himself, St. John. Let's go to St. John 12. Let's start at a voice from heaven testifies of Jesus. And Jesus answers, saying, the hour has come, and the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth along. But if it die, it abideth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. Again, let's read that for those of you naysayers. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, but if it die, it bideth forth much fruit. But if it birtheth, look at these screens too much. Let's get this. Oh yeah, we'll start that over again. Jesus answered them, saying, the hour, I can't see. My eyes, this phone is just bugging the it's got to be the electronics. It's just killing my eyes. Let me see. I also work all night long out with lights and that. My eyes are not clear. They're having a hell of a time. And spreading evil blood cult. The reason instead of crying and bitching. I don't know what you're talking. Talk instead of run. Let's see. Coward. Okay, let's report that guy. Report. Sorry. I can say promotes terrorism. What did you say? Did you actually? Well, let's just do harassing and bullying first. Get you reported for that. And then let's see what else you said. So the coward one's got to be in there. And then reason be instead of crying and bitching and spreading your evil blood. This is another one. I got to report. Harassment. Harassing. Report. Okay, we got to keep reporting them. Keep reporting them. Just keep reporting the bad guys. Yeah, I said the message will be deleted, but he'll be reported. Thank you. Anyway, so when Jesus answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, that except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep unto life eternal. Magical, we turn to that. Magically. So, if you're a seed and you abide fruit, but if you hate this life, you'll abide eternally. If you love it, no, this life is not to be loved. Yeah, that was Christ himself. I got to go back to work. So Skull, I'm tired. I've got to go back to work. Last night was just 11 hours in the field. I gotta go shower, eat something, and go out in the night again all night long, like a thief in the night. Right? That's what it becomes like. Let's see. God bless you too. Remember this. What I'm saying, the Lord says the same thing. If you're trying to save this life, you'll lose it. You have to do like I told you. You have to say, step out of it in this sense. Go into the free places and just stand there and realize that you didn't have to pay for that moment in time. We all should come together as a people. But these trolls are so bad, these monster trolls. They cannot be near the good people. The problem we have is the evil man, don't deny an evil man, was so before the second coming. This is a time of judgment that's coming. The evil and wicked are not allowed. They're defense, everybody. Sammy Hagar, 1977, cracking the earth. You can't be on that fence anymore. The evil need to be evil. Their father's the devil. Don't even conversate with them. Don't entertain them. Get rid of them. Get them out. They don't need to be here. Judgment has come. It's not a time to take care of these people anymore. And to believe them. And to say that they're supposed to be by us. The time for turning the other cheek is over. Ban them. Get them away from us. Have we not suffered enough with the wicked, evil people, these beings that that live, thrive, and they just reanimate every generation. Judging by the YouTube comments, you can see how many wicked people get into these chats with being allowed to do what they want. Every YouTube, um, every content creator has to constantly have um, admins that go in there and they have to ban these people because they're so bad. They're just so wicked. All they do is chaos. The devil loves chaos. These are little demons that are running around doing this stuff. So banning him's one thing, but report him now. Now it's time to report him. It's time to report him. Yeah, the Pentagon's out. I cannot rest. I've slept 5 hours. I have to go back. I have to go back to work all night. There is no rest. There is no rest in this. To find rest is to walk the good old path. To find rest is to walk the old ways. This was a life that many of us could only dream about now. Harsh environment, teepee, buffalo. But at least it was a life that was survival, was there when we survived. Now, death by a million cuts, We have to be willing to walk away from this life. In this sense, spiritually, you have to say, I don't believe in your systems anymore. Don't let the evil people dictate what humanity can do. Don't let the evil people spreading your lies and wickedness. Don't let the Satan's little demons, the devil worshippers, the Luciferians, dictate what the people do or what we need or want together. It's not up to the devil worshippers, politicians, or everybody else that thinks they have power. They're not their ancestors. Their ancestors are all dead. They're old men and women if they're still alive in a nursing home. They're looking for pudding. We don't need to be like them anymore. But we have to call out the wicked and say, you know what, you've done enough here. Your systems are broken. All the things you gained, it means nothing. You'll throw them down the minute you hear you have cancer. Gone. The United States is worse than fascism. Fascism is a word that was developed. This is the United Corporations. There is no states united. There's no people. They're not beings. They're entities. They call them entities. Corporate entities. And what do you do when you see an entity? Are you a demon, an evil spirit? Why do I see this entity? What are you? We call them entities. Did you form an entity? An entity? Like a demon? Like an evil spirit? Why are you calling them entities? Why wouldn't a corporation be called a being if it's a living being? Oh no, it's an entity and it has rights. And we wonder why this system's broken. I found Jesus, Lorna Kahan 386. And all he was about was love, and he turned from these systems. But it's you guys. It's your relentless attack against him. It's the systems you created. It's the lies you told, your ancestors told about a system that wasn't for God. It was all about evil. Wake up. Wake up. Because death will come. And what are you going to tell God when you see him? That you was a God? Your ancestors believed in a lot more than what we do. They knew there was a God. There is. Wake up. Thanks for watching.